What's up, guys? Today I'm here with Vaughn in Bermuda, and he's a diamond and gemstone expert who handles Diamonds International as his main client. And just to start things out, how old are you?
Just turned 29.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Getting old.
And what is it exactly that you do?
So my actual job is the promotions of, I'm an intermediary between the cruise line and the stores that we handle. So you guys as guests, if you go out and you buy a diamond, a Tanzanite, and a luxury watch, my job is to make sure that you're getting the very best deal and that your whole experience from the cruise line side is the best of what it should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a fun job.
I
get paid to go shopping with people, so that's not bad.
That's fun. And you just go on every week cruise?
Every single week. So I will be going home very soon. My first contract was 11 months.
11 months.
And that's 7 days a week. 7 days a week. It's intense.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
If you survive on a ship, you can survive anywhere.
That's true. When did you start out?
Cruising, I cruised for the first time when I was 6 years old. So I've been cruising for 23 years now, but like officially working, because I started cruising because my brother worked in the industry. So he did my job when I was 6 years old.
Oh.
He is actually now a pretty big boss in the cruise line industry, which is great. But I've been cruising since I was 6, officially started the job about 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
And when did you find out, when did you know, I really want to do this, I like doing this?
From when I was 6 years old, I was actually sitting, Diamonds International does the charm bracelet, which is the free gift that you collect at the store. I was sitting at the Cabo San Lucas store at the counter handing out the charm bracelet. So I've been doing it, I've been doing it for a really long time. So I knew from a young age, but I think when I was ready, when I was about 22, 23, I was just ready to see the world. Working on cruise ships changes your life. You get paid to see the world and you meet amazing people. So.
And did you go to college?
Yeah.
You did.
So I did international hotel management.
Okay.
Yeah. So really, really enjoyed that. And this ties in with that kind of.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does.
Kind of.
Well, it's basically a hotel, same thing.
It's a floating hotel.
It is. That's what it is. And I was going to say, so you deal with diamonds, you work with Diamonds International, you said. How did that come about?
So they have been, from the beginning of time, with cruise ships. Before cruising, it wasn't really a big deal shopping for luxury goods in the Caribbean. Like you could buy your alcohol, your perfumes and things like that tax and duty free, because the Caribbean is an actual tax and duty free haven. But Albert Gadd is the owner of Diamonds International, and he saw a gap in the market 40 plus years ago, before cruising was a big thing. And he said, if you can sell alcohol at tax and duty free prices, why can't we sell diamonds, Tanzanite and luxury watches, where a watch would cost you $10,000 in the States, with the taxes and duties added to it, it could be 20 to 30% cheaper in the tax and duty free market. And that's how it all started, actually.
Really?
With one store in St. Thomas, and they've got over 140 stores around the world now. Wow. So it exploded. It's a great concept.
That's really weird. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw the gap in the opportunity and
saw a
decided to take it.
huge gap, and that's why they've been, for over 40 years, the #1 recommendation.
And that's just because they were the first ones to do it?
First ones and the best ones. It's their passion, so they're good at what they do.
They definitely are. I went to the store and
it's a huge store.
Yeah, it's nice. I was gonna say, where are diamonds mostly found?
So diamonds are found all over the world. I was actually born, if we're looking at South Africa, I was born in the birthplace of diamonds, which is Kimberley, South Africa.
Kimberley.
So De Beers is the mine. They supply over 85% of the world's diamonds, so they are pretty much the big bosses. If you look at the word "a diamond is forever," that was De Beers, so that's their slogan. Really? So they did that. What I'm loving, what De Beers is doing and what Diamonds International is doing, I think with our generation, it's very interesting. To get 1 carat of gem quality diamonds, you have to mine about 10 tons of earth to get one of these. So there's a lot of mining that goes into it. You get a certain person, a certain guest that appreciates that, and then I think the millennials and younger are going to start worrying about the environment itself. So if you look at what Diamonds International is doing and what De Beers are doing, they're moving to Illuvial Mining, which is very interesting.
What's that?
So alluvial is off of the coast of Namibia. It's a process where they actually suck land from the ocean and they sift through it, because there's diamonds in the ocean.
I've seen people do that with the gold.
There's gold and diamonds in the ocean. So instead of mining through actual dry land earth, they're going through the ocean, and they pump all of that land back. So there's there's minimal damage that gets done to
I like that. That's
I like
nice.
that. So they're looking into the future.
That's great. And what about lab-created diamonds?
So
I've heard a lot about that recently.
That's a big thing. Not sure how to feel about that just yet. I know it's going to be the future, probably.
It is.
And
I don't like it either.
I mean, on a fundamental basis, if you put two diamonds side by side, one that's naturally mined and one that is a genuine lab-created diamond, 9 out of 10 gem experts cannot tell you the difference. On a carbon level, because I mean, a natural diamond is 99.9% pure carbon.
Yeah.
A lab-created diamond should be the exact same. So on a fundamental basis, lab-created and the natural diamonds are pretty much the same thing. So there's not much of a difference.
Well, is there a price difference at all?
There is. A lab-created diamond is much cheaper. If you think about it, how they are coming up with, how the concept of lab-created came up is the fact that for a diamond to form, it takes literally millions and millions of years. So they've basically taken what Mother Nature is doing, sped it up.
Yeah.
They basically created in a lab, in an oven. They just cooked it a lot faster, basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Everybody will have their own opinions on that. So
yeah. Okay.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it is the future. Honestly, from what I can see, especially younger people, it's definitely going to be the future.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, but I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about it. But what other gemstones are like valuable? Like, what do you deal with?
So,
besides diamonds?
in my opinion, you've got two other ones in Diamonds International. That's a huge deal. Tanzanite. So Tanzanite is a gemstone that we call trichroic.
Yeah.
It means at any one time, if you look at a Tanzanite, you can see blues, pinks, and flashes of purple.
Really?
Tanzanite can only be found in one place in the world, and that's at the foothills of Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, Africa. That makes it unique. So diamonds you can find in Russia, you'll find in South Africa, you can find it all over the world. But Tanzanite can only be found in one place, and that's what gives it its rarity and obviously affects the price.
Well, how much is like, are they more expensive than diamonds or?
Depends.
Because I didn't look at the prices when I went in.
You didn't do your research? No, I'm kidding.
I did not.
No, it's what I always say. It's like, it's what you like at the end of the day. The value of Tanzanite in the long term, once it gets depleted, will go up. For example, if you look at yellow diamonds, pink diamonds, yellow and pink diamonds. I know there was a big pink diamond just found in Angola, which was very, very, very not naturally occurring. In the Argyle mine in Australia, that's where colored diamonds were found. Yellow diamonds, up until now, that's where you found them. The mine is officially depleted. So I'm going to link that up with Tanzanite now. So once you have an item like yellow diamonds that can no longer be found, obviously the value is going to go up.
Yeah.
So Tanzanite's the same thing. So you can still find them at the moment, but of the 3 veins in the mine, 2 have already been depleted. So there's only 1 vein that they're still finding stones out of.
Wow.
So value-wise, I would say Tanzanite is more valuable than a diamond.
Okay, that's good to know. Because
diamonds will always be a girl's best friend. So that's never going to change.
Well, I didn't know what Tanzanite was coming into the Diamonds International.
Yeah. It's a big deal. It's a really, really big deal. It's a really, really big deal. Outside of that, there's one other stone called Alexandrite. So Alexandrite is the only gemstone classified by the GIA as phenomenal, because a natural Alexandrite is the only gemstone in the world that can be taken out of the earth and naturally changes color. So if you're out in daylight with a piece of Alexandrite, it'll be a vibrant mossy green. If you take that exact same Alexandrite and you move it indoors underneath incandescent lighting, that same gemstone will turn rich Cabernet red.
Really?
So
Wow.
So that's another one. But that's what we call 1 in 1 million. It's a 1 in 1 million gemstone. Quantified, only 1 out of every 1 million people in the world will ever be privileged enough to own natural Alexandrite.
Really?
So it all comes down to rarity and value.
Gotcha.
And what you value.
Yeah.
Some people just love diamonds, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, I like diamonds. I like, I wouldn't wear Tanzanite.
I like your jewelry. I looked at your rings.
Thank you.
In the store. Very, very nice.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I see, but I wouldn't wear Tanzanite. I feel like right now at least, but
you never know in the future. It depends on what people like at the end of the day. That's the same with watches. It just depends on your personality.
So do you sell watches too?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
What's your top 3 brands? What's your go-to?
I have to always say Breitling. Breitling. I did my private pilot's license, so for me aviation is really a passion, And Breitling is the chosen watch by pretty much all amazing pilots in the world have a Breitling.
Yeah.
So Breitling will be number one. John Travolta has a Breitling, which is cool. Number two would be Hublot. Hublot only because Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy, so the LVMH group, the luxury brand group, bought Hublot as a brand. That's a big deal. For the world's leading luxury company to purchase a brand like that is a big deal. And last but not least, I'm going to have to say Rolex. It was never one of my favorites, but I'm starting to see why people love Rolex.
Yeah, so I love Rolexes.
Those are the three.
I also like Cartiers.
Cartier is amazing. Cartier is really, really, really beautiful. And then I don't know if you saw the brand called Bremont this week.
I don't think I did.
Bremont is the chosen watch by the Royal British Navy Army. It's a very, what can I say, artisanal watch. They only make 10,000 every year, so it's a very rare watch. It's the only watch in the world that can withstand the force of being ejected out of a fighter pilot jet seat. Oh, and if you look at the casing of a Bremont, the actual metal used in the production of that casing is recycled military aircraft material. So it's cool.
That's cool.
The guys usually find stuff like that very, very, very cool. So it's an unbreakable watch essentially. So that's a nice one.
I'll look into that.
That's Bremont. So Bremont.
Bremont.
That's a good one.
And what about Tag Heuer?
Tag's a big one, yeah. Tag, I always say, is a great starter watch. So if you're graduating, if you're thinking of getting like niece, nephew, brother, sister, son, daughter, if they're graduating, I think Tag is a great starter watch. As an automatic watch, people very seldomly actually understand why these watches have the price tags attached to them and why the brands are such a big deal. If you look at my watch, it's a Breitling, slightly more pricey than a Tag, but in the space that you're looking at, there are 3,000 moving parts put together by hand, by man, to keep exact time. You never have to put a battery in it. This watch will outlast 3 generations. That's the big deal for me. So if you understand that and you appreciate that, that's when you buy a watch.
What about Invicta, right? Because I know they copy all these other brands.
Invicta. What can I say about Invicta?
I don't like them.
Invicta. Okay, so you get... I'm not a particular fan about Invicta. I always say you get a watch, that's an Invicta, and you get a timepiece. Depends on what you value. It depends on what you value at the end of the day. I'm going to leave it at that. But I would never buy an Invicta.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I mean, I know there's people that collect hundreds of them, and that's cool.
Oh yeah, same thing with anything.
Exactly. So if that's your thing and you like, I just think in terms of a watch and a timepiece, I wouldn't put Invicta in that category.
No, I wouldn't either. I was just wondering your opinion on it.
Yeah. I mean, they've built an amazing company and their name is very popular for a reason.
Yeah.
But no, that's a watch.
Yeah, I agree. And how do you deal with fake watches? I don't know, because do you buy used too? Like, do you deal with used watches?
Yeah, so one trick that I always tell people, and I never knew that, if you're buying a real timepiece, an automatic watch, a small trick that they told me, and this is something that Rolex actually worked on, because Rolex has been copied.
Oh yeah.
A billion times over. The way that you tell is if you look at the second hand of the watch, it shouldn't tick. It should smoothly move. If your second hand is ticking on a watch and somebody's trying to sell it to you as an automatic, a 2,500, 4,500 plus watch, I would think twice. The second hand should move smoothly. It shouldn't tick. If it ticks, that's a clear indication that it's not fake, but it would be manual. It has a battery inside.
And I've heard that one a lot.
That's a big, that's an easy one to look at it. Other than that, it's difficult. It really, really is difficult. That's why we always say, that's why you hear Diamonds International's name so much. By going to a store like that, you know what you're paying is the very best price.
Yeah.
Very best price. They guarantee the best price, and you're getting the certification with it. For example, Hublot is very cool, and Breitling. If you buy a Hublot, if you get a Breitling, you get a card, and they have a machine that when you buy the watch, they actually slip it into the machine, and it activates the international warranty on the watch. It's very cool things that come with that. Yeah, if you're buying something, that's why we go to these stores. It's the reason why you hear their name that much.
Oh yeah, and when I get a watch like that, timepiece like that, I will be definitely getting one from.
Why didn't we get one this cruise?
I
didn't do a good enough job, did
I? Did not. I don't have enough money with me right now. I can't even lie. But that's why we're doing this.
That's why you add up, and it is. And if you decide what you want at the end of the day, and you really want it, you'll get it.
Yeah. that's kind of what I'm trying to do with the YouTube.
And when you're ready, call me.
I will for sure. What else do you do, you guys?
Work. We work nonstop. 7 days, this is what we do. But at the end of the day, what I've realized is it doesn't matter what you sell or what you're passionate about. People need to enjoy spending time with you. You need to be, your love for life, what it is that you do needs to shine through. As I said earlier, I specialize in your luxury brands. So your watches, your diamonds, your Tanzanite. But in the same breath, I represent restaurants. Cariloha, which is the company where everything is made from bamboo. Del Sol, which is a huge company in the Caribbean where all souvenirs change color in the sun. You have to share a passion for all of those two things, because bamboo bed sheets and a Breitling watch are two very different things. Yeah. But you need to be able to bring those two together and make people get excited about those two things. So, and yeah, in my opinion, I still can't believe I do what I do for a living. That's cool. Now this talking about it is making me think about it.
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool job.
Yeah, because not many people I know do anything like this.
No, so if you look at port shopping guides, like there's one captain for every ship. There's only one port shopping guide for every ship.
Really?
Housekeepers, you could have 300 to 900 housekeepers per ship.
Yeah.
You have only one port shopping guide per ship. Yeah.
So yeah, the reason why I'm doing this podcast, I've been having people come on here and I try to get them to talk about like what they do for passions and then turning that into like sources of income.
100%.
Because I feel like a lot of people, especially my age, are trapped in like the mindset where they need to like, you know, a lot of people I know at least are working at restaurants, supermarkets, and they hate it.
Yeah.
But they go every single week, and I'm like, you know, I started out, I sell sneakers, and that was like kind of what I did to start out, and like, you know, because that was a hobby, and then I realized I could make money from it. And I started to do that.
There's nothing more important than that. Literally, if I tell you 11 months, I worked 7 days a week. Sometimes, legally on the camera, I can't tell you how many hours.
Yeah.
But endless hours. It didn't feel like, I didn't resent it. I didn't regret it. I went on vacation for 1 month and I was back.
Yeah.
Because you genuinely love what you do. That is, it's the key.
This doesn't like feel like work as much as it.
But I also,
something else.
I think a really important thing is like people hear you say this, you should love what you do, but until you actually find it, you don't get it. You don't really understand what it means. So I said to you earlier, like when I was 12 years old, I started my first business, which was magic.
Yeah.
And I was always teased in school, like saying that, you know, he's the nerdy one, you're the magician.
Yeah.
I loved what I was doing. I ran that business for 6 years, and the same kids that were actually bullying me at the age of 12 when we were 18, they came to me and asked me for jobs because I was running the biggest event planning company. We did the jumping castles, tables, chairs, cakes, entertainment, the cleaning, and they ended up coming to me asking me for a job because they didn't know how to start their own business. So I think just finding what you love, take that. Yeah. And now we're doing a podcast at sea.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah. This is fun.
But find what you love. Super, super, super simple. And be a good person. If there's anything that I learned about ships, fundamentally, if you're a good person and you can honestly go to bed at night, I've been watching a lot of motivational videos, and that's one of the biggest things. You need to go to bed at night peacefully.
Yeah.
Conscience clean, and you're going to succeed. I mean, it's pretty much it. And I also believe in you attract the energy that you give out.
Definitely.
If you give positivity out, you'll get that back.
Yeah, and I've noticed that, and you know, I've done the same thing. Like, I've been more positive recently, and it's just like it uplifts your mood. It really
makes
does.
such a difference. I've literally, we're going totally off topic here, but it's really important. It's really important. They say the first 15 minutes after you wake up is when your subconscious mind is the strongest. So if you have, I'm not talking about, once again, it depends on your personality. Like I love Oprah Winfrey's motivational things, Maya Angelou. If you listen to that, I always, before I even get out of bed, I switch that on for like 8 minutes, 12 minutes. And I promise you, while your eyes are still closed, wake up in the morning, think about how lucky you are to have what you have to do. I'm giving myself goosebumps right now.
Yeah.
Waking up like that changes everything. This week, and I'm not even saying it because we're doing the podcast with you this week, I went into the right gear. This was a record-breaking cruise for this vessel, and I genuinely believe, I genuinely believe it's about the energy that you put out, and you can only put that energy out when you take care of yourself and you make sure you're the best first.
That's the number one priority.
That's it. Like Oprah said, I'm quoting Oprah, she said, you cannot, you're a cup. Your cup is a quarter of the way full. You can't fill other people's cups if you're a quarter. You need to make sure your cup is overflowing first, and then go and help everybody else. It sounds selfish, but it's totally
not.
true.
That's how it works.
Totally true.
I'll definitely try that motivation thing in the morning.
But find what you love. Like I'm not all about the gospel, like everybody preaching and screaming. I'm about like simple sentences like make sure your cup runs over first. Wake up in the morning and say thank you.
Yeah.
Think about the fact that you woke up.
Yeah.
Like
fundamental. What you have.
Fundamental things like that makes you get up. And I mean, we can finish it off actually bringing it back to jewelry and talking about this ring.
Okay.
When I grew up, we grew up very poor. My grandmother was a maid. She cleaned people's houses for a living and made straw hats to get my mom through high school. And in her 92 years of being on this earth, she loved two things, which is probably why I'm in jewelry. She loved gold and she loved diamonds. So she didn't have much money, but whenever she had extra, that's what she bought.
That's what she bought.
At the age of 92 when she died, she didn't have a car. She didn't own any property. All she had was the jewelry that was considered valuable.
Yeah.
And she left a message for my mom in her will saying that the moment when she passes away, my mom needs to remove any jewelry she's wearing on her left hand, bracelet, rings. She needs to melt that jewelry off and make one ring for my 21st birthday. And that's what that is.
Wow.
And you can see I get actual goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like this is a story that I've told probably 1,000 times or more.
I've heard it. You said it at the seminar before.
But the fact that you get goosebumps like that, every morning when I've slipped this onto my, goosebumps are going all over. Every morning when you put this on your finger and you kind of realize where you've come from.
Yeah.
You're appreciative and you go into the day humble and doing what you love.
That's true.
And talking about doing what you love, I have to run because I have to get back to work.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. And I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.